There is one career that was, I believe, officially ended with the star on his helmet last night. That'd be Leighton Vander Esch. The only way I think it continues is if it's so bad that nobody offers him money, and they're like, hey, would you want to come back here for basically league minimum? I think that's what you're looking at last night. It's amazing that he plays so slow and unaware. I can't imagine that it's the same guy who looked so good as a rookie for about 4 games. There was a big stretch. So we'll talk about the future of Leighton, the future of the linebacking position, especially now that Micah Parsons continues to dominate as a pass rusher. How do you look at that going forward right here at 877-881-1053, Brian?
Yeah, he clearly cannot move like he once did. I think the injuries have robbed him of his ability to turn and be able to burst, and he's just such a stiff-moving player. And then what happens is he gets put in positions. It's almost like watching Jalen Smith play, where all of a sudden it's like you need him to be there. You need him to be at the point of attack. Where Leighton Vander Esch was so good during his career before his neck and shoulder and all those injuries that he had, he was really good at making plays behind the line of scrimmage. Read, downhill, tackle, finish, and all that stuff. He can't even put himself in position to make plays. And, that's the thing that has to be super frustrating to him, because he'll see things develop, and it's almost like he's playing in sand. He's like he's pedaling, and he's not going anywhere. And then the ball's past him, and then you see 55 lunge. Leighton Vander Esch was not a lunge tackler, but now he's turned into a lunge tackler, and he's not able to get even to wrap up guys. And that, a lot of it has to do, I think, because he just does not have that ability to burst like he once did.
I was talking about it a lot with people on social last night, and a couple of things they were feeding back was, do you think he's playing to not get hurt? And did the role change much when Dan Quinn came for his specific job?
I think he's playing as hard as he can play. I just think that he is very limited in what he can do. And we always talk about, well, hey, put players in position. And Dan Quinn and the defense has done a really nice job of, we've seen it with all their guys. I mean, safeties playing linebackers and things like that. But you need Leighton to be, especially he needs to show up when teams try to run the football. When Taysom Hill was running the football last night, number 55 needs to be taking on guard, getting rid of the guard, disengaging, and then making the play on Taysom Hill for a 2-yard gain, not missing and allowing that thing to go to 8 yards or 24 yards down the field. So, I don't think it's scheme problem with him. I think it's ability, and I just feel like, though, that it's the injuries have robbed him of his good football.
Well, it's still somewhat serviceable, but that's the best you can say, and maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 games looks decent. He had the one game a couple of weeks back, was the Denver game, where he was the highest rated defensive player on the Cowboys. Right. So he has played well a couple of games. So for this year, I guess you can get through, and with Randy coming back, Micah will play more linebacker. But what do they have for next year? I mean, this cupboard's bare. Can you consider Jabril Cox something?
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, the whole thing with Cox, that's the one injury right now that looks, and they could talk about with Bernard and guys like that, they're using these guys, Gifford, they're using them on special teams and stuff, but you just don't see that, hey, let's plug them in and play. I think it's going to have to go out and draft a linebacker or 2. You're going to have Cox, but you're going to have to. Maybe you're going to sign some guys. Maybe you could get fortunate if Dan Quinn's still here that you can get a linebacker to come on board with you. Maybe he makes an evaluation, Will McClay, and then make an evaluation. And they say, hey, this guy from the Buccaneers, or hey, this guy from the Rams, he's a good fit for what we're trying to do. That's how they're going to have to rebuild this thing right now.
What's gone wrong with Keanu Neal, speaking of linebacker?
I think the COVID's got him too. Jeff, I don't know about if you. I think that COVID stuff hurt him to where, he's still, every once in a while he'll flash that ability to put himself in position to make a play, but he was not making plays like he did earlier in the campaign. I mean, you notice Curse and other guys down there playing more in the box than even noticed Wilson down there playing more than what was going on with him.
Yeah, I mean, the why is tough, but the observation of, that ain't real good,
no,
I think is pretty easy to make. Like, they're getting Tank Lawrence back.
Yeah.
Tank helped this defense. He played really, really well.
Sure did.
And so, you've got him and you've got Micah Parsons, who's a demon. And sometimes some of your D tackles will flash in there and make some plays. But when your D-line gets blocked up at all, you get in trouble. Because Vander Esch, Keanu Neal, it's like they're block magnets, and there's not a lot of violence, and there's not a lot of good tackling, and I don't know that either one of them's covering very well. So you're playing pretty good defense with essentially a pass rush and a secondary. The area in between, it's kind of blank.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the biggest problem right now is, though, you need a couple of the guys who are physical players or were physical players during their career have now become kind of like hit and miss guys or not even get there and wrap up guys. And, this defense is predicated on guys getting to the football, running there, finishing. You could talk all you want about Parsons and how he finished. That's what ideally you want, but he is rare in a lot of that. But when it comes to your most physical players, it's very, very few to count on that defense. And that's why I think they struggle in the run is people get up on them and they bully them a little bit. But when they get in a situation where they have to play the pass, boy, they are going to get after you. That's their bread and butter, getting up the field and making those plays affecting the passer.
I'm really starting to look at the playoff scenarios here, and Jeff mentioned Tank being back and how much he helped. It was so awesome to see. And with Randy coming back and Micah playing like this, I don't know that teams are going to have a lot of success dropping back to pass.
That's going to be the trick, I think, guys.
Yeah.
Is that
it's about to be real hot?
Yeah, and this is where you need your offense to step up, because what was going on when the Cowboys were really humming along on offense, they put so much pressure on the other opponent's offense to have to throw the ball, and that's right down the Cowboys' alley. Oh, you're gonna try and throw the ball on us? We got some guys that might not cover all the time, but they'll cover some of the times, and if you misthrow a ball, they're going to pick it off. We got some finishers in the back end. But we got you're talking about the pass rush up front. That they present a lot of problems for blockers.
I mean, Tank does the power thing and then the Euro step, and it's like the guy's like, "You're kicking my ass," and then you run away from me. Yeah. What just happened? It was so awesome. I mean,
hey, wait, come back! You were just kicking my ass, but you were near me. Where'd you go?